Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be giving our spoiler review for Scream 6. I've uploaded, by the time this video uploads, I'll have the spoiler-free review or thoughts video already up.
So you open this movie?
No, this one won't go up. This video won't go up till probably like middle to end of next week.
Oh, that movie shit, by the way.
So Scream 6. We basically pick up with our group of now in college people that we saw from the first one, Jenna Ortega, all of them back. They are, as I said, in college. And you see them struggling in their own ways. Tara, is her name? Right, Tara?
Tara.
And then...
Jenna's character?
Yeah. That's Tara. Okay, what's the other sister's name? I done forgot.
I can never remember her name.
I can't either.
Hold on.
I have the worst trouble with her name. I can remember
what
Jenna's character. They just made Jenna just be the main one. Made it a lot easier.
Yeah. So Tara's Jenna, and then Sam.
Sam. Good Lord.
God.
We remember the harder name in Tara.
Oh.
Okay, so Sam is going through therapy. She's struggling with what had happened in the previous film. Tara's struggling in her own way with it, as well as everybody else. They're kind of... they pretty much followed each other to sort of stay together and be there for one another. So let's just start off right off the bat with Samara Weaving's character. She's pretty much the opening kill, as I figured. Kind of sucks. Wish we could have had her a little bit longer in it. But she was, unfortunately, the opening kill, which the way they do the opening this time was definitely different. It will probably throw some people off a little bit. I think we both kind of looked confused at first after they done that beginning opening sequence.
Because I was like, okay, there's got to be more to the story because of the way they did that, because they wouldn't automatically reveal at the beginning.
Yeah.
I knew there was more to the story as soon as that happened.
It was like, you want to think there's more, but then I also thought to myself, well, if they do stick with this route, it would be something different.
Yeah, but
it wouldn't have the same effect.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
But
I also think Samara, obviously she's a bigger name next to Jenna, I would say, for everyone in the movie, and then obviously Courtney. But I feel like the fact that she was in just the beginning sequence was actually okay. It worked. It wasn't like too underplayed. It wasn't overplayed.
Yeah. But so the beginning sequence was different. It was a nice little change in a way. But basically after that instance, things pick up, and the kills ensue. Ghostface, does his thing. So let's start with the gore. We'll go to the gore next. This is definitely probably the bloodiest.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
one
probably
of the franchise.
One of the whole franchise, probably next to the first one. To me, the first one probably had almost as much, but not as much, but it had quite a bit of blood compared to the other movies. And then this one, to me, it's what I can remember anyway. This one would be the top one though.
Yeah, this would be the goriest. You get a lot of really good kills. But so that was a really big highlight for this one. So if you've been wanting this one to go gorier, this franchise to go gorier, this one definitely does. Now you don't really get Ghostface necessarily doing a lot of different stuff in this. It's still your basic knife kills. You do obviously get the shotgun scene we see from the trailer.
But that's the only scene they used it in, which I was very happy about.
That was the only
because I
real
was worried
different
about it.
scene.
Yeah.
Everything else pretty much was
The
knife or
traditional
gun,
slasher scenes that
handgun.
they do, yeah. But I don't. I was really, really worried about it because I was like, if they end up switching it to a gun for the rest of the movie, because we didn't know obviously what part of the movie that they showed in the preview that was in,
Mm-hmm.
and so when it popped up, I was worried they were just gonna stick with the gun from that on out.
Yeah. So that was good. I mean, I know some people want Ghostface to do more, but it's Ghostface. This is what he is.
Killer. He's not.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not freaking Michael or Jason.
well, even Michael and Jason and Freddy,
They
they're
don't
all
do,
kind of the same
yeah,
styles.
but it's not. I mean, they do
Their
sometimes
kills.
more than Ghostface, but
Freddy's probably the most would be
Freddy
out of the
would
three
be
would be the most
yeah. But his
unique
case a little bit different.
kills. But definitely really good kills, good gore, good acting, good cinematography.
The music brought back the nostalgic feel, definitely.
Yeah, they used pretty much the music that we get in the first movie.
Trilogy.
So that was really, nostalgia, really good. Couple of down points for me personally. I know one that's specifically also for my wife is as for the deaths, there's not really a huge death.
Not a beloved character one, except
yeah,
for the girl, but I think she ended up being a lot. Or no, did she? She ended up being a lot.
Because remember she showed up with her brother and got on the ambulance.
So that's the only one I can think of that really was like, okay, she got.
So if you're going in, you expect a gal to get killed. She doesn't get killed. Again, she's still alive. She gets stabbed a couple times, but still lives. It's kind of getting annoying.
I mean, it's like I said to you earlier. It's a love-hate relationship with her character because she's a complete bitch, but at the same time, you want to root for her.
She really wasn't in this that much.
No, she wasn't.
She
it makes me think she'll be in it more next time though, because Nev's supposed to be coming back.
I don't know. We'll see, but she wasn't in it that much, which was fine. But I really just wish they could have killed her off because, I mean, it's time to move on from the original cast, and focus on this new cast. And I don't think it's like we can't do that. I mean, now we even have Hayden Panettiere back, and
they made
another cast that we've had in the past. So
they led you into thinking that she was behind it, which I even thought that multiple times at different points.
Mm-hmm.
But it obviously ended up not being her. But I like how they did it because it kept you on your toes. It didn't okay, we know who it is, we know who to suspect automatically. And that type of thing. Because with the other ones, it was obviously you're still surprised at the end, but you had at least someone in the back of your head an idea, and it's usually right. And this one sort of completely did a 360.
Yeah. Another kind of thing I didn't like about this movie, what they did in this movie was they basically match up Mason Gooding's character and Jenna Ortega's characters of Tara and whatever Mason Gooding's character's name is. But basically they pair them up as a couple in this, and it just feels very thrown in there. It wasn't set up in the last film, and it just kind of happens in this one, and just feels very thrown in just for the hell of it, and I didn't like that.
It felt thrown in only for the stab scene that they do in that point when they're kissing, but I mean, I like them as a couple. It's just they didn't really lead into that.
Yeah, they just
it didn't make any sense. It was just like, here you go, here's this for a stab scene.
I mean, it's just very thrown in. It just didn't work for me.
I do love how, just like with Randy, they made a rule list.
Yeah, here's the thing, and this is a good
character to do it too.
This is going to be kind of, I think, a hot topic for a lot of people with this film, and that is, this movie is basically the second movie. This movie is basically Scream 2.
Just in more present time.
If you watched Scream 2, you know how Scream 2 goes. Basically, that's what this one is. Once you get the killer reveal, it's basically Scream 2 all over again.
The only difference is you're not getting someone like, for example, like Randy got killed in the van. You don't get that type of a murder scene. But, like, even the ending scene, which it didn't dawn on me until literally just a second ago, they're in a theater where Mickey ended up coming to the theater, and it just hit me though, and I didn't think about that part. But
yeah, it ends
same
in
setting, everything.
It ends in a theater, just like the second one does. The killer is the father of Richie from the last movie, and he, instead of it being like Mickey, where Billy's mother found him on the internet, it was his two other kids helping him. So you have 3 killers in this one. So they do up the killers in this one a little bit.
But it makes sense why they did it too. So it's like,
it's still technically 2 killers because the Dermont Maroney, how do you say his last name? He is sort of more of the brain of the operation.
He didn't actually do the killing.
The kids were the one doing. His kids were the one doing the killing.
But he was the one planning it all out and keeping them undercover, basically.
But it's basically the same concept. It's the father. It's the father of Richie, who was the boyfriend of Sam, who she killed, and it's all about revenge for that.
He was able to get violent so much for so long because he was also a cop, so he knew how to.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of originality here, and I can see that being a big drawback for people. You even get, they're turning Mason Goodin's character into basically Dewey 2.0. You get him getting stabbed multiple times in front of her by both ghost faces that are there in front of Tara by both ghost faces, and he somehow lives, just like Dewey did when he got stabbed multiple times in the back in front of Gail, and he still somehow lived. That's kind of what his character's becoming. And when he came out, he was alive. When they said Gail was alive, when they said that I think Savoy Mindy, her character was alive. I kind of just rolled my eyes a little because I'm thinking, really, I mean, I would have loved to at least seen 1 to 2 of our main cast get killed off to change it up some. But I don't know. Would we call that being meta? I mean, I don't know. I know they reference things about this being a franchise now and all that. They reference all of that.
Well, and
but
the thing is, like, I think there's making yourself aware and doing like some cliche stuff that you did in the previous movies, and then just flat out copying the whole thing. But I mean, obviously they did change some stuff up in this.
Yeah.
So it's not like it doesn't by any means make this a bad movie. It's not. It
was different, but at the same time, like, I feel like the 5th one was more like the first one than this one was like the second one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this one played out
like the same
way as the second one by the end of it. It was the same outcome.
Yeah, same outcome.
Ended up in the same kind of a place at a theater. You get the Dewey character. You get the Dewey 2.0 character stabbing happening. I mean, there's a lot there that's the same.
If they're gonna go off, like, still be connected technically, because that's what they're doing, but basically in a way remaking everything, then why are they trying to continue and not just reboot the franchise? You know what I mean? Like, why are they
that's what I'm trying to think. Is it being meta? Like, I know meta is supposed to be self-referencing.
Yeah.
But is this also, like, I don't know meta fully, so I don't know if this is them being meta, and if it is, I mean, that's great, but to me it's going too far. I would rather be meta and reference yourself than just completely copy your franchise with every movie you're making.
Yeah.
I still enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
But this movie's still good.
Remaking If you're basically redoing the movie, it's basically a reboot. So why are you trying to make a sequel and connect everything? Why not just reboot it?
To me,
because Jenna and them would have been perfect doing that.
Because they start with, obviously the fifth one is just Scream.
Yeah.
So
why couldn't they just do Scream 2?
You could have not even connected it to the first four.
Don't bring Courtney. Don't like no one.
And you could have just rebooted it, and I think it would have made a lot more sense. But I think, as I said, I think it's maybe it's part of being meta, but to me it's just going too far. I wish we could pull back a little. I told her if we end up back in California and in Hollywood or something, then I'm just going to be rolling my eyes with it because
here's the thing. If they do that, I'm obviously will watch it either way, but I'm very curious how they're going to play the reasoning behind it, because before there was a very good reasoning. It was strictly connected to.
They were making a stab movie. She had
to
be there.
Stab movies. He was supposed to be her half brother or whatever, step brother or something like that, half brother, and it all made sense for her. But how would anything like that relate to them?
See, here's the thing with me with this movie with Scream 6. If I'm putting it against Scream 2, which is basically like it's somewhat twin, I like this Scream 6 better than Scream 2. I know that's probably going to be controversial, but that's just me. If they can make if they copy Scream 3 with Scream 7, then please do better than Scream 3. Give us something better. I mean...
Listen, don't diss on that movie, my Patrick Dempsey.
I mean, Scream 3, I don't hate the movie. It's not my favorite of the franchise. It's bottom tier for me of the franchise, only because it's so bad it's good, I guess.
My least favorite would actually be the second one, but this one to me is a lot better than the second one, even though I love Randy in the second one, I'm just saying. However, I do think overall this one definitely surpasses the second one.
Yeah. I think this one, I think some people are gonna love it. Like, we enjoyed it a lot. We loved it. Some people are probably gonna be like, we've seen this already. It's the same thing. What are we doing here? And just it kind of sucks too that we didn't get Matthew Lillard. I mean, it would have been nice to have gotten him.
Oh my god! But there were so many moments where it definitely sounded like it could have been. It looked like it could have been, and I was like, "Oh, please show up, and it never did. I was so disappointed."
Yeah, they do. You do get sort of a semi-identical kill where Hayden's character Kirby pushes the TV over onto one of the killer's heads to stop him from attacking, and she makes a comment saying, "I've seen that in a scary movie before."
Yeah. I like that part.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that meta, and that's the kind of meta I like. That's the kind of self-referencing I like.
Here's the thing: it also seemed like
that's what I like about it.
And Matthew as well, because they were saying things like how they were referencing like it could have been him, like if they were talking as Stu in certain situations, and I was like, well, I wonder if it could be, because I know you even looked at me, you were like, I wonder if they're actually doing it. And they didn't. I was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see where the seventh one goes. I mean, if we could get Matthew Lillard back in the seventh one...
I would die.
I would be all for it. I would love it. I just hope that, in a way, I kind of hope that it's not copying the third one. I hope it kind of does its own thing, still self-references and stays meta, but just doesn't copy the same somewhat format of the third one.
This one was a flat-out revenge one, just like the second one. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, we've had
due to their family member being killed, so it's like
yeah. So, it is what it is. We still enjoyed it. It still provided a lot of gore. It still provided a lot of positives that we've discussed.
And to me, it didn't
but
really drag.
No, I mean, it was
pretty well
2
paced.
hours basically.
Yeah.
Roughly 2 hours without the end credits.
It didn't feel like a shorter movie, but it didn't feel longer either.
Yeah,
it was good at runtime.
It ran through very well. Was very good for that because our seats aren't the most comfortable. So
no, our seats
if it felt like a 3-hour long movie, I probably would have hated it. But and there is a end credit scene.
Nothing pertaining to the plot.
But it's nothing special. I'm glad we didn't stay for it. I actually looked it up because we didn't think there was because there's never been.
And it sort of ended up going to credit roll.
I seen everybody pretty much staying in the theaters. We had probably maybe 9 people or so roughly in our theater, not counting us.
Opening day, but most people think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, but but they. It's just basically a self-awareness where you have Mindy saying that not all movies need an end credit scene, so it's nothing we missed that was anything special. I will say before I end this video, theater experience-wise, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best. We actually had some issues. That one of the people that was in the movie watching it with us actually had to get up. I think a couple of people had to get up and go tell them that the first time they had to get up and go tell them, it was because we could hear the movie, but we couldn't see it. I think they left the cap on
it was doing the previews at the time.
We could hear the previews, but we couldn't see the picture. So I don't know how it's set up there in the projection booth, but I don't know if they just needed to take the cap off or if there's more to it than that. But they ran through we probably got about 4 trailers in, 4 or 5 trailers in before they fixed it.
1.5 trailers worth to watch.
Yeah. And then once the movie started, we got maybe 3-4 minutes into it before they turned the lights off.
Yeah.
They had somebody actually had to go tell them that the lights was still on. And I think that's where that one guy got up and went. I think he went to go tell them the lights was still on.
Oh.
And they finally turned it off probably about 3 to 5 minutes into the movie.
They only had, because I could also hear when I went to the bathroom, they only had 3 theaters going. So it's not like they had a bunch of them filled up.
Yeah.
So there's no reason there should have been any issues.
Yeah. So the theater experience had its glitches, but
we've not had that issue before.
Yeah, this was the first time with that, so hopefully it won't happen again the rest of the year. Hopefully there'll be more on top of it. This is also the first night of us going to basically the premiere night because this was the first showing for everybody
in this area. And usually we can't make them because they're usually always on Fridays, and you work the next day, or we have the kids, so we can't ever usually do it. This is the first time we've ever gone to like a premiere night.
Yeah, I know certain YouTubers and stuff, big critics, have seen it already, but in general, this was the first showing for our area. So hopefully it does not happen the rest of the time with movies we see, because we do plan on seeing a few more than usual this year. But overall, this was a solid film. Not going to be for everybody, I don't think. I think some people are going to have a lot of issues with it, but I want to give it, as of right now, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think
4.5 out of 5.
I think that's a solid score. 4.5 is fine too. Have a score higher than me, but you know, she's probably more forgiving on some of the things than I am. So, but still a solid score for both of us. So, is there anything else, or is that we cover everything? So I guess that is everything. So please comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified for our videos, and we will see you all in the next one.